Division II football championship game.
Check.
Today's game is between the visiting Franklin Classical Knights and the home team on the scoreboard, the Riverside Christian Knights.
I'll talk.
Welcome to the TSIAA.
We ask at this time that you please stand for a word of prayer and please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Franklin Classical Knights. This is the second as we are about to do the national.
Let us pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the day that you've given us. Thank you for the officials for this afternoon's ball game, the EOC.
As there was the national anthem and the prayer. As we were in, as I was saying, welcome to the 2020 TSIAA Division II state championship game between the visiting Franklin Classical Knights and the home team for the designated home team for today's game, the Riverside Christian Academy Knights.
You ready for some state football today?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Like I said earlier, I've said it before earlier this season, these two played. It was a great game, but you know, we'll see what happens here tonight. This afternoon, rather.
For the RCA Knights, number 9.
As this is going to be the 7th time these two teams have met since 2013. As the Riverside currently leads the series 4-3, as we are setting up for kickoff here at May Flanders Field in White House, Tennessee. As it looks like Will Britton, the sophomore, is going to kick us off today. As it was pooched up in the air, and it was covered by
number 61.
61. And we don't have that on the roster, so
that will be RCA Knights first down.
So here comes Riverside as they won the regular season meeting against these two teams pretty handily. It's going to be interesting to see what Franklin Classical did in the past month to prepare for Riverside.
I mean, both these teams have had a lot of time to get ready for this game, a whole lot of time.
As it's kept by Joshua Southstrand, and he was swallowed up in the backfield by Franklin Classical.
I believe that was
number 68, Charles Bennett of FCA Knights. And to bring up RCA Knights, second down.
I believe that was Jake Rubelski on the carry, number 2 for the quarterback for the Knights.
as this is Riverside's first game since October 30th and Franklin Classical's first game since October 23rd. As another direct snap, and the ball comes out.
Ball was fumbled.
And are they saying he's down? They are saying that he was down. As the first two plays, Franklin Classical looks like they are ready for this one. As Rebelski comes back in with the empty backfield on 3rd and long. He fires it up, and it's just over the head of both Crutcher Ezel and Marcus Whitworth.
And to bring up a Riverside, 4th down.
And there it is, a very first three and out for Riverside as they are bringing on their punter, Dylan LaFleur. As the punt's away. Joshua Salstrand tries to get to the outside, and it's punched out by Crutcher Ezel, and Raymond Hunt with the recovery. And that's going to be first down for Riverside there.
I think that looked like Elijah Jones on the return.
Ball was recovered by number 7. Raymond
it was,
Hunt.
yes.
But a great job by Riverside getting that football. And we are trying to get the scoreboard up and going. Spencer.
As Spencer is graduating right now, so he'll be with
Congrats.
us tonight.
He will be with us tonight, yes.
But as of right now, it is just me and James back. As is thrown deep, and it's through the hands of Michael Whidden there.
Whidden's been a great weapon for Riverside all season long.
Riverside, 2nd down.
As it looked like that he just couldn't haul that one in there. But I'm Zachary Lone. I have your play-by-play duties tonight, and James Shannon is back in the booth for color commentary for this one.
Don't get too excited there.
As Rebelski is still in the empty backfield, and looks like it's gonna be a
penalty markers on the field. False start on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still remaining 2nd down.
You're right, false start.
As it looked like Ty Thornton just fell forward there as he wasn't ready for the snap count there. Rebelski. Runs to the left side, and he is tackled on the edge there by Zach Penrod.
It's a great, solid tackle there. That's one thing, though. You know, with both these teams having so much time off, they're going to come out and they're going to be ready to absolutely smack somebody in the mouth.
What do you think that they are fresh for these past month, or do you think they've been hitting each other, trying to keep it physical going up to the
they've been keeping it physical for sure. I would imagine. You know, you can't go a month without hitting somebody and then expect to come into a game and be able to do what you need to do.
As Rebelski with another keeper. As Riverside's defense, there's a fumble.
They got lucky on that one. Ball's out of bounds.
Brought down by number 81, Zach Penrod of Franklin Classical.
As it brings up
another
4th down for Riverside, but it looks like they are keeping their offense out on the field for this one. Rebelski's the junior quarterback right now for Riverside. As senior Crutcher Ezel, as there's a timeout there by Riverside. That was, as I was saying, As we're back from break, and apologies, we still haven't been able to get the scoreboard up. But here comes a big 4th down as it's handed off to Crutcher Ezel, and Ezel gets to the corner, and he is pushed out of bounds finally by
Ball was handed off number 8.
Zach Penrod.
Crutcher Ezel. Chased out of bounds.
Penrod's actually had a really great season for Classical rather, but you know, kind of the old steady option of, hey, we're going to give the ball to Crutcher Ezel, and he's going to absolutely smack you in the mouth, and he did that right there.
The old give the ball to the best player and live with what happens.
Just let him make it happen, man.
As the Knights come up for another 1st down play. Handed back off to Ezel as Ezel comes up the middle, and he is met immediately by number 21, Clay Lott, the senior, for a gain of 0.
Clay Lott doing a great job on that. Clay Lott doing a great job there.
As it's fumbled, and Rebelski comes back and falls on it, but here it brings up another 3rd and extremely long carry. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 20.
I see what you did there.
As it didn't look like the snap was that bad. I just don't think Rebelski looked it all the way in. 8 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter.
And that's one of the things that time off will do. It'll make you a little rusty in your snaps. And, you know, obviously only the first one tonight or this afternoon, but, you know, that doesn't mean there couldn't be more.
As Ezel, Crutcher is in the secondary, and they're not going to catch him.
Good.
There it is. 3rd and 20, draw up the middle. Untouched, 30 yards for a Riverside touchdown.
That was the old adage of there's 8 players on the field, and he broke 10 tackles. Like, he made a move here and a move there and a move here and a move there, and absolutely just crushed it, showing why he's one of the best players in the league. I said it from the beginning. I'll stick to it now.
Yes.
If you're talking about overall gameplay, he is one of the best players in the league, if not the best. There's a list of who could be the best. It's debatable.
As the throw is. That's going to be a pass interference on the end zone as he was looking for Marcus Whitworth.
They'll let him take the shot with it again.
As Whitworth there was taken down from behind. That's an easy call in the middle of the end zone right there. And Riverside now has a 2-point conversion attempt from the 1.5-yard line. As they bring out Crutcher Ezel at the quarterback, and it's just a right up the middle for the 2-point conversion.
Is good.
And that is an 8-0 start to the game here, as the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, live, give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Gillisville. Let's get Jets. Perfect. As we missed the kickoff there, apologies, Dylan LaFleur kicked out the back of the end zone. And Frank Classical comes out for their first drive of the game, starting at the 15-yard line. 7:57 to go in the first quarter. Riverside up 8-0.
And it looked like Riverside was stuttering a little bit on that opening drive. And then, fourth down, 2 times in a row they did it. Fourth down, give the ball to your best player.
As the toss there to the outside is to Eli Cornett, and Cornett with a gain of 7 yards
Eli Cornett.
as he gets to the outside there.
Brought down number 15.
Cornett, one of the seniors for Classical, and
Michael Wyndon of Riverside.
played
They had
here
to
back
bring
his
up
freshman year,
Franklin
transferred to
Classical, second
Centennial
down.
High School for 2 years, and then his senior year he said, hey, guess what? I want to come home. I want to play with my boys. I want to make this happen, and he's done a great job this season, and I'm sure he does not regret that decision at all. It's been a great move for him.
As he's really stood out in this Franklin Classical roster.
Absolutely.
As Hubbard hands it back off to Cornett. And Cornett is stuffed there
Oh,
by
my goodness.
Crutcher
Eli
Ezel.
Cornett.
Crutcher said,
Brought
sit
down
your
by number
butt
8,
down,
Franklin
boy.
Ezel.
And that was Cornett on the
Bring up
carry.
Franklin Classical. Third
A
down.
big collision there.
That was some talent on talent crime right there.
Crutcher Ezel came in from the secondary to make the play there.
All right, hang on.
Our scoreboard is finally up, and we are working on getting the logo in time and everything. But Hubbard,
We'll work on that next break.
as they toss it out to Cornett, going to the other side, and it's fumbled.
Ball was fumbled.
And so I think what happened there is Riverside did recover Dylan LaFleur, but if I'm not mistaken, he was laying out of bounds.
No, Classical.
No.
Yeah, he was out of bounds.
Oh, he was out of
Ball
bounds.
was
Okay.
grabbed by one. Eli Cornett, the result of the run. He will be in Franklin Classical.
So Cornett,
First down.
a little lucky there.
As
A little lucky. He should. Let's see. If he's 18, he probably should play a scratch off on the way home. He's got a little bit of luck going on his side right now.
as Raymond Hunt had come off with a looks like a helmet issue. As he laid a big hit on Eli Cornett, and the ball went fumbled out of bounds for a first down.
They have to wait and get a Riverside play. Oh, he's got the white pants. A bit different uniform situation there.
Hubbard rolls to his right, fires, and it's Ezel.
Pass is
Intercepted by
intercepted.
Ezel at the 30. Stiff arms Cornett and
By
runs
number
out of
8,
bounds at the
Crutcher
23-yard line.
Crutcher Ezel taking
The
over
result
this
of the
football
play,
game.
He will be in Riverside.
Young man absolutely
First
making it happen.
down.
Great read there by Crutcher Ezel as he picks off Hubbard, and Riverside is cooking again as they get the ball at the 23-yard line.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. They're cooking. Okay, all right. Getting all fancy over here. Your analogies. I see how it is.
Thank you. As there is 6:20 to go in the first quarter. Rebelski as tosses it behind Crutcher Ezel as Ezel gets to the outside, jukes out Cornett,
Ball was pitch number 8, Crutcher Ezel.
but and then tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Clay Lott.
It was Clay
Franklin
Lott
Classical.
making the
Had to
tackle,
bring up
and
the
the young man
Riverside. Second
injured
down.
earlier in the year. That is one thing about this game being so late in the season. Both these teams having 4 weeks or so to rest up, especially for Classical. They really got hit by the injury bug real bad throughout the season. And so over this month, they've been able to have guys get healed up and get back into game action. So there's several guys like Clay Lott, Salstron, Hubbard, guys that were banged up that are able to play today because of the delay. So that does work to their favor.
As it's another fumble,
Ball was
as
fumbled.
it's at the bottom pile, and it looks like Riverside may have came down with it, and they did. So it's third down as the handoff there from Rebelski to Hunt. There's a little miscommunication. The ball was free.
It looked like a bad exchange between Rebelski and Ezel. And he just never really got a good hold of it, and by the time he got to the line, it was too late. That's why that handoff, that exchange is so important to make sure that you have down and do just repetition after repetition to make sure that you're good on both sides as well.
As it's third down, hands off to Crutcher, and Crutcher is tackled for a gain of 2 yards, brings up a fourth
Ball
and
was hit up to
3.
8, Crutcher Ezel.
Was that
By number 81.
Riverside's done it twice on fourth down? I'll
Had
give
to
you
bring
one
up
guess
Riverside.
as to what
Fourth
they're
down.
getting ready to do on this play.
They're gonna As it looks like they may take Rebelski. No, they are going to talk to Rebelski. Probably hand off to Uzel, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. I would. I'd bet on it.
As there is 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, Riverside up 8-0. As Rebelski has Ezel lined up behind him. Nope. As what a great defensive stop there. A turnover on downs.
Good night in the morning. That light went straight from green to red, and there was no in between.
As I missed, go ahead.
And that's a big stop for Classical after giving up the pick by Ezel to absolutely make that stop right there. You know, that's huge for them.
As I'm mistaken, and Raymond Hunt was the one lined up behind Rebelski there.
Yeah.
Now here, Classical comes back on the field. Their offense comes back on the field for the second time today, as they've only ran 2 offensive plays with 4:21 to go in the first quarter, down 8-0.
Yeah, at this point, Riverside could have been up 24-0, but Classical's defense keeping them in the game.
As Hubbard, the pass, as the pass was intended for Joshua Southstrand, but a great defensive effort there by Marcus Whitworth.
And Whitworth's been done a great job at DB all season, but, you know, in that situation, great job playing the ball as well, not drawing the pass interference flag. That's a veteran way to play that ball right there.
And it almost looked like there was a push off by Southstrand at the end. There was such good
it's possible
pressure. No, such good coverage. As there's going to be a timeout or a equipment. Talking possibly about an equipment violation. As it looks like Southstrand.
Isaiah's going to go ahead and take a timeout.
And with that timeout, we'll take a break. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, live, give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. As because of the timeout, Southstrand is able to come back onto the field.
Well, and they had to have him on the field for this play. He's such an integral part of this offense.
That's rolls out to the right side, and the coverage there by Hunt, knocking that away as the pass was intended for Jed Mangrum. Brings up another 3rd and long.
Well, right through the hands of Mangrum, and Hubbard put so much zip on that ball that if you don't have stick 'em on your gloves or something, you're going to struggle grabbing that ball.
He definitely is. That throw was on the money by Hubbard, but just maybe a little bit too much zip on it. As
Classical needs a shot of adrenaline right here. They need to make something happen. They've been struggling all game so far.
As a big 3rd down, as Hubbard rolls out to his right, and he takes the hit, and it is
incomplete.
Are they saying he stepped out of bounds?
Penalty markers on the field.
There's a flag too.
Intentional grounding on the offense.
So that was an intentional grounding there called on Hubbard.
And to bring up a classical.
Well,
fourth
and
down.
it was a bad decision. He was just trying to get the ball out. You know, he just about stepped out of bounds. But you know, you got to be smarter than that.
And brings up a 4th and about 16, 17 yards, as there's 3:57 to go in the first half,
They might put it away here.
first quarter. As the punt is away from Hubbard, back, and the punt's going to go out of bounds at the 33
Great
of
punt.
Riverside Christian.
Great punt by Hubbard. He did a great job. I mean, it was almost like a quick kick, but it wasn't a sneaky thing, so it wasn't a quick kick. But it wasn't a sneaky kind of play. But, yeah, great kick. Flipped the field. Now Riverside having to start from their own side instead of getting the ball down near the 20-15, which would have made it, I don't know, 20, 15, 10 times easier.
Oh,
Take a pick.
definitely. And Riverside's offense comes back on the field. They have been able to move the ball pretty well, but they've been stopped a couple of times. As Rebelski hands it off to Ezel, and Ezel is
Ball's
tackled
number
at the
8,
line of scrimmage
Ezel.
again.
Brought down by
This
number 21,
classical
Play
front
And to bring up
is
the
doing a
Riverside.
great
Second
job
down.
right now of containing Ezel.
Well, and that's Clay Lott. You know, we mentioned him before, but he was having a great season, had a great career as a junior, coming over from CPA, Christ Prep, and had a great junior year. As a senior, was primed to have a great year, and then injuries derailed his senior season, but getting to play one more game here, it's always a great feeling.
As Rebelski is back in the pocket, as Hunt goes, as the throw is to
Passes complete
Whitworth,
to the 9.
and
Marcus
Whitworth
brought down
is
by number
tackled
1.
at the 29 of
The
Franklin
result of the play.
Classical.
He will be
Big play there by the
Riverside.
Knights offense.
Whitworth is fired up, too.
First
He's wearing the
down.
turtle shell, which they were able to get the logo on the side of it, so at least looks semi-normal. But just a great job by Rebelski, too, threading that needle. I mean, that was a tight space, and he was able to get it in there. Great job by Whitworth hauling it in. That was good offensive execution there.
As it looked like the Classical defender almost intercepted it there. As Ezel is in the Wildcat form, as Ezel gets a snap, runs up the middle for a gain of about
Ball
4
was kept around by
yards.
number 8, Crutcher Ezel. Brought down by number 85, Ethan Killer. And to bring up a Riverside. Second down.
As he was tackled on the after the game of 4. As there's 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Riverside is up 8-0 and on Classical. As Rebelski takes a shot to Whitworth. Whitworth
To number
is
9,
tackled into the
Marcus
end zone.
Whitworth. The result of the play,
14
he will
to
be
nothing.
Riverside.
And Riverside's had 2 big
Touchdown.
receiving targets all year, Whidden and Whitworth.
As Whitworth was wide open as Rebelski dropped the pass in the bucket there to go up 14-0. As Classical's defense has to be tired, as they've been on the field basically the whole first quarter. Rebelski hands it off to Hunt, and
They're going to
Hunt
say he got it.
got in.
Is good.
16-0 with 1:54 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this. As Dylan LaFleur is back, is the kicker for Riverside. Kick is deep, and Cornett goes through Cornett's hands at the 6-yard line.
but it technically will not be ruled as an out-of-bounds kick because he did touch it. So that's a big break for Riverside. Classical could have had the ball way up, and instead they're pinned back. That works out really well for Riverside.
A 16-0 score here with 1:54 left in the first quarter. As this is only Franklin Classical's 7th play of the first quarter.
But see, the difference is Riverside hasn't been able to just move the ball at will. Classical's been making the defensive stops they needed to.
As Hubbard's back in the pocket, throws, and it is in and out of the hands of Joshua Salstrom.
Pass is incomplete. The 10 with
Salstrom just wasn't able to come down with a catch there. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
A Knights. 2nd down.
Classical having trouble hanging onto the football on these throws, and I don't know if maybe it's something Hubbard's doing with the delivery. You know, maybe it's just the rust. But if they catch these balls, they're fine. They're in a good situation right now. Riverside's not outplaying them. It's a very even matchup right now. Classical's just not able to make plays when they need to.
Definitely.
It's more of like a beating yourself situation.
As Riverside's offense has been on the field basically the whole first quarter. As the blitz is brought by Riverside, and Hubbard's throw is just out of the reach of Salstrand as Marcus Whitworth was there for the coverage.
Zach, I don't think we've been past the 30 on this end of the field so far.
We haven't. The closest we got was the 32-yard line on that last punt, because the opening kickoff was also recovered at the 34, 35-yard line.
Yeah, so this whole end of the field looking really pretty.
Sets up perfectly if you want it in the Division I championship game tonight. As Hubbard is back, as the throw is to Jed Mangrum, is incomplete. Brings up a 4th and 10.
And actually, Zach, that's a great segue. If you're not doing anything tonight, folks, stick around. 7 o'clock, you get the big championship game. South Haven Christian, Franklin Christian. Big showdown happening right here.
As their first game was a classic.
Oh, it was a great one.
As Hubbard's punt is angled out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
It won't even get to the other side of the field.
They were pinned deep.
And I wonder, too, if Riverside had to start a drive from inside the 10 in this situation, how would the offense move? Because it's whenever you start a drive from the 40 on, you already have the momentum because you don't have to go, you don't have to go the length of the field.
As Classical's defense has made some really key and big stops so far, it's just they've been on the field the whole time, as this is their 4th time on the field with 1:27 to go in the first quarter.
Well, and the playmakers for Riverside, Rebelski, Giselle, Whitworth, these guys have done their jobs.
As Rebelski hands it off to Hunt, and Hunt is tackled after a gain of about 5 on the play. As there's going to be another timeout.
Classical timeout. Sorry, I didn't mean to walk on you.
No, you're good. Timeout Classicals, that's their second. And the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Health, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Gillisville. Let's get Jets. As here we go with 1:15 to go. As Rebelski fakes the toss out to Hunt, and Rebelski is run out of bounds after a loss of about 1. Or losses of 2 on the play.
Out of bounds, number 10, Samuel Hubbard.
As Hubbard has made a huge play to not let Rebelski get to the outside right there. Brings up 3rd down and about 7. No, 8. They're down 8. Riverside's offense up to this point, James, has really just gone through Ezel. Their big plays. Rebelski hands it off to Hunt. And Hunt, as he's going to be close to a first down. Does he have a first down?
Brought down by number 4, Jed Mangrum.
It is going to be close.
Riverside.
As they are going to, as there's going to be a timeout on the field for the measurement.
Timeout.
48 seconds go in the first quarter, I should say, as they're going to bring the chains out onto the field.
I'm looking around. They might be in trouble. I don't see any index cards. Might need to. Well, that's not really an broadcast item. It's so they can make the measurement. Let's see. It'll be close.
As the spot was really, really close to that first down marker.
All right.
And that's going to be a first down.
They got it.
To the play.
They got it literally by the size of my nose, the nose of the football. Literally put the football at my face, then have my nose stick out, and that's how far they got it by. That was close.
Hunt falling forward there really is what got them that first down.
Yeah.
As here comes a first down for Riverside with 48 seconds go in the first quarter, 16-0. Riverside on top as Rebelski drops back and fires to Hunt, and Hunt catches it for a gain of about 7.
Brought down by number 2.
It's like I said, Riverside, they haven't been able to move the ball at will. They've been able to move it, but it's just little dinks and dunks here. It's not taking the shots, the big shots, except for the play with Whitworth, the couple throws there. That was, those were good shots, but other than that, they're not absolutely whooping up on Classical.
Classical Stevens has done a great job of limiting the big play so far.
Even with how much they've been on the field.
Yes. As Rebelski is another fumble. As Rebelski turns it into a gain of as he wasn't down. And
ball was ran by number 2, Jake Rebelski.
Gains about 3 on the play. Is this going to bring up a third and a 1.5?
Well, and that's a good example of taking, the bad snap, bad handle, and able to punch it in. They're going to let this go to the end of the quarter.
As there's 3, 2, 1, 0 seconds. This is the end of the first quarter. As the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, live, give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza, Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. And welcome back to the second quarter of Franklin Classical versus Riverside Christian, as Classical is up 16-0 to start the second quarter. as here comes a big third down. Rebelski hands it off to Ezel, and Crutcher falls forward for another first down for Riverside. As James, like we've mentioned, Classical's doing a good job of limiting the big plays, but they are getting the dinks and dunks is really what's hurting Classical right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely making it happen. Just the little things that you have to do, they're doing those well. And you're getting a little live look at how we do the scoreboard, just in order to be able to get it.
As Rebelski drops back, pass is intercepted by Salstron. Huge play there by Salstron as Classical will take over at the 13-yard line of Riverside Christian.
First down.
Salstron there just read the eyes of Rebelski, as that is Riverside's second turnover of the game and Rebelski's first interception. But here comes Classical's offense onto the field, led by Sam Hubbard. They really haven't got the ball moving so far, have they, James?
No, and they need to get it up and going. You got to quit playing around in this situation. You don't have, this isn't practice. You have to get going.
As the snap is high, as Hubbard is dragging defenders all the way down for a first down Classical.
Right down to number 15.
Great job there of Hubbard recognizing the broken play and just getting what he can. As 10 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the first half, Riverside is up 16-0. Again, apologies for the scoreboard. We are getting that up and running right now. As Hubbard has an empty backfield. Throws it as Salstron, as it's tipped to the line of scrimmage. Salstron almost comes back and catches it, as it looks like it was tipped by number 15, Michael Whitten there of Riverside. As another second and long here for Classical. Again, 16-0, second quarter, 10:32 to go. As Classical, this is only their third offensive possession. As Cornett comes in motion, Hubbard fakes the handoff to Cornett, and Hubbard gets to the sideline, and Crutcher Ezel with a big tackle on the edge there. Brings up third and 5. Third and 5. As this is really the furthest downfield that Classical's gotten so far.
Maybe it's the change in the sides of the field.
And
maybe that just really, really got it going.
As we saw the very first plays of inside the 30-yard line to start the third quarter, as Classical didn't even get it inside of Riverside's 30 at all in the first quarter. Big third and medium here as Hubbard in the shotgun, empty backfield. Cornett's again in motion. And it's another quarterback keeper, and he gets to the outside, and Hubbard is going to go all the way, but there is a flag. There is 2 flags on the play, and it looks like it's going to come back for a Classical holding.
The young man absolutely getting up on his horse and getting going, but a little too eager beaver on it.
Holding on the offense. That'll be a 10-yard penalty. Still remaining, third down.
As from where we were standing, it was a pretty clear hold. Basically gave the Riverside defender a bear hug there.
Just trying to show him some love there. Come on, he's just trying to spread the love.
As Classical finally has a big play go their way. but it's called back again. Called back for a holding,
That's a backbreaker. That hurts.
especially on the 3rd and medium.
Yes, sir.
As Cornett joins the backfield here with Hubbard. As Hubbard's throw is caught as he stretches out. Are they going to give it to him?
Jed Mangrum.
Oh, and they're not going to give it to him as that was caught
That was close.
by Jed Mangrum as he stretched out the ball there, but he was spotted a yard short of the first. As it's going to be an offsides on Riverside.
That's huge.
Riverside, Franklin Classical goes with a hard count there.
Encroachment on the defense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. That will be a Classical first down.
And there it is. There's Classical's very first first down, right?
I believe so.
Of the game, and it came by penalty. Again, 9:28 to go in the first quarter. Riverside's up 16 to first half. Correction, sorry. Riverside's up 16 to nothing. As 1st and 10 for Classical. Cornett again joins Hubbard in the backfield. Screen pass to Sawstrand goes right through Sawstrand's hands as Mangrum almost came up with the catch after it goes through Sawstrand's fingertips. But another second down here. As of right now, Classical is just dropping everything that's come their way, no matter how open they are.
Yeah, they're struggling with bringing the ball in.
Probably has to be the rust as Classical gets to the line quick. As the pass is to number 81, Zach Penrod. As he gained 4 yards on the play, brings up a 3rd and 6.
That'll bring up a Classical 3rd down.
As Classical is in another big 3rd down situation. As they finally got it to Riverside's side of the field. Hubbard fires, and it is going to be caught by Southstrand, and Southstrand fights forward for a 1st down. Huge play there by Southstrand.
Pass is complete to number 2.
Zach, looks like we got a scoreboard up.
Oh, we got a scoreboard up? There we go.
It will be a Classical 1st down.
Bam.
Props to James there, as he's been working on it the whole 2nd quarter so far.
Spencer, no more days off, sir.
Definitely not.
No, it's all in jest. Well-deserved day off. As Hubbard again is joined by Cornett in the backfield. Handoff to Cornett, and Cornett runs in his own offensive lineman there, but still bounces off for another gain of about 2 yards.
Brought down by number 12. Timmy Wyndon of Riverside. That'll bring up a Classical.
As Hunt hit Hubbard after he handed the ball off, and that's what Classical sidelines upset about right now. But they're starting to move the ball here, James.
And it's about time, too, because they really need to get something going here.
They've had open receivers. They just haven't been able to haul it in. And the throw is dropped by Ethan Keller there, as the throw was a little bit behind Keller. but it's still one you'd like to have if you're classical.
Third down.
As classical, even if they end up not converting these this fourth down, converting this drive into a first down, potentially, this is going to be the worst starting position that Riverside's had so far this game. Hubbard rolls out to the left, blocked, huge block there by Cornett.
Pass is incomplete. The 10 targets number 4.
And that was intended for Mangrum, and brings up a fourth down for Classical.
That'll bring up a Classical. Fourth down.
6:34 to go here in the first half. Classical trying to get their first points on the board as they're down 16-0. There's a 4th and 8 opportunity coming up here for Classical. Hubbard's joined by Cornett in the backfield again. Hubbard fires, and it's incomplete.
So close.
Pass is incomplete.
As
Number 4.
Mangrum was the intended target there. As Riverside turns the ball over on downs.
It will be a Riverside first down.
Again.
Such a great drive for Classical, just coming to a stop.
And now they are calling back on their defense, who has had a great first half so far. Even though they're down 16-0,
exactly,
they really have been put in good positions to succeed.
But there you go, folks. There's a live look at how the scoreboard gets put on the screen.
As Crutcher Ezel cuts back
boy.
outside. No, and Ezel is gone. 10-5 end zone.
He found the corner, and he was gone.
And we were talking about Classical not really giving up those big plays. But there it is. 62-yard run there by Ezel, as Riverside is now up 22-0. As handoff to Hunt, and Hunt is tackled in the backfield there by Clay Lott. And Lott's been all over the field so far for Classical. As we are going as the low line drive.
Penalty markers on the field.
And right now, there is a penalty flag thrown. As there was an offsides there
on the receiving team
by Classical, as LaFleur is going to have another opportunity, this time from the 35-yard line. Mangrum is back to receive for Classical. The 2-4s. And LaFleur's kick high, and that is going to go out of bounds.
Penalty markers on the field.
And Classical's going to have some really great starting field position here to try and get back into this game. As we're going to get the call. And the ball's going to be spotted at the 32-yard line of Classical. No, the 25-yard line of Classical. As Cornett is back in the backfield behind Hubbard. Hubbard fakes the carry, and it is thrown, and it is almost caught by Salstrand there. As that was great coverage there from Marcus Whitworth.
Pass is incomplete. It's turnovers number 2.
Great job reading the play and getting in there.
And to bring up a Classical. 2nd down.
Whitworth has really been all over the field so far in this first half.
Yeah, he's someone that not a lot of people talk about, maybe because of not having the name recognition or the size, but he's a guy that they rely on a lot for a lot of things.
And he's really showed up so far as he's probably Riverside's MVP so far this game. As toss outside to Cornett. Cornett cuts back inside, makes one man miss, gets to the 30, and he's tackled out of bounds at the 36-yard line as they're going to move the chains.
By number 9, Marcus Whitworth.
In the first drive, James, that's really what worked for them. Why'd they go away from that?
First down.
Well, and sometimes you want to try different things and not be one-dimensional, and that may have been what they were going for, but it obviously didn't work. It's just 2 time and stuff.
Okay.
All right, we're muted, so.
As a toss outside of Cornett, Cornett makes the first man miss, and he bounces back into the middle, and he gets all the way to the 39-yard line there.
It was a good hard run by the young man. 5:47 left here.
As he made the flare miss from Riverside.
Brought down by number 77, Luke Ashley. And
brings up a 2nd and 8. Really, this is when they have been able to get positive yards on first down. They've really been able to get themselves in a position to convert those third downs.
Absolutely.
As Hubbard hands it off to Cornett, and Cornett has an opening, and Ezel with the shoestring tackle there.
He's able to get to that second level, but the difference between a good running back and a great running back is, can you hit that linebacker level and make a miss? And they were not able to do that.
And to be fair to Cornett, that isn't just any linebacker.
No, that's Crutcher hell. So, you know, you give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yes. As Hubbard brings toss to the line for a huge 3rd and short. Fakes the toss, throws it, and it is caught by Keller. And Keller is taken out of bounds at the 23-yard line of Riverside. And these past 2 drives, James, Riverside's done a great job. Classical's done a good job of moving the ball.
Yeah, if they can hang on to the throws, they'll be fine. They've been fine the whole game, but it's just the difference of not being able to grab the football.
And if you're Classical here, are you trying to run the clock down? Because you get the ball to start the second half. Are you trying to?
No, you're taking a shot.
Taking a shot?
100% taking a shot.
as that's going to be a timeout by Riverside. And
Timeout.
now we will
Taken by Riverside.
head to a break. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets, Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. As welcome back to the Division 2A, Division 2 TSIAA State Championship game. As a reverse play there to Elijah Jones, but Ezel really read that play, and Mangrum is tackled for a loss of 2 on the play.
Ezel looked like the hound dog from Old Red, the song Old Red. He just sniffed it right out and took him down.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about the song Old Red because Old Red was kind of confused at the end.
That's true, but he's a hound dog.
That's true. That's true.
He sniffed that play right out. He was not fooled at all.
Well, 2nd and 12 at the 26-yard line for Classical. Hubbard has Mangrum in motion as the throw is to Salstrand, and Salstrand makes Whitworth miss.
Pass is complete,
and
2.
is tackled at the 10-yard line.
Brought down by number 4, Danny Hall.
Salstrand, he's been a good starter for them really the last, I would say, 3 years.
Of play,
of course, his brother Ben,
first down.
Former starter for Classical.
As now they have the ball inside the 10. They can't get a first down. They have to get a touchdown here as
we're going to get a false
penalty
start.
Markers on the field. False start on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still remaining.
That's going to be a false start.
Down.
So, the offensive coordinator for Classical, Cole Warren, 2015, he was a senior I believe he was a senior 2015, along with Ben Salstrand, who is Josh's older brother. That was a team that made a run in the playoffs. They actually lost to Christian Community here at this field. Christian Community went on to play in the championship against FCA. But, you know, a lot of history, a lot of friendship between these guys here on this team, and they got a lot of history that goes back.
As Hubbard throws it in and out of the hands of
Pass is
Mangrum.
incomplete to target number 4. Jed Mangrum.
Boy, he might have been able to turn the
Classical.
corner and get
2nd
gone
down.
if he'd been able to snag that.
He had an opportunity there, but he just isn't able to reel it in. As here comes a 2nd and 15.
You gotta take a shot here. You gotta score. I know you got time, and that's fine, but you have to score on this.
The good news, if you're Classical and you're thinking, and really Riverside hasn't had that big play except for last drive with Ezel. That's the really only big play they've had so far.
Yes, sir.
As it's handoff to Salstrand. Salstrand cannot get to the edge and falls forward to the 11. Brings up a 3rd down and 11 from the 11-yard line.
Down by number 15. Michael Wyndham
Trying a little
Riverside.
jet sweep
And a bring
action
up
there.
a Classical. 3rd down.
Got them about 3-4 yards as Classical cannot get a first down without a touchdown. As the clock is winding down, as they may wait until there's a few seconds left on the play clock to snap this ball.
No, they're going to go for it. They're going for it here.
Mangrum in motion as Hubbard, and it's thrown to the outside, and Salstrom goes right through Salstrom's hands
Pass is incomplete.
as LaFleur was there on
Right.
the coverage for Classical.
I was about to say great coverage
And
by
bring up a
LaFleur.
Classical, 4th down.
And that's the thing. Classical has not been able to hang on to this football all game. That's about the 10th dropped pass, and that's what's been killing them this afternoon.
As it looked like Jones was open there. No, Salstrom was open there, just wasn't able to bring it down. And now here comes a crucial 4th and 11.
It's always a little different, Zach. You know, you see it at the Jamborees and then, you know, if Christian Community hosts games. It's always weird to see two different teams playing on a neutral field. It's always a different look. The last two championship games, we haven't had that.
Definitely. As there's going to be 4 different teams playing on the field tonight. As the first one is intercepted as LaFleur coming out of the end zone, and it looks like it's going to be a block in the back. But huge play there by LaFleur.
Well, the interception's going to stand.
Yes.
It'll stay. Just great job reading the ball, and LaFleur's been sniffing out that corner of the end. I believe they're running a zone, and that's been his area. He has not allowed anything so far this afternoon. But what I was saying is, we get the call.
So it's going to be after the interception. It's going to be a block in the back. So that's probably going to be a half the distance penalty there.
Block in the back on the return.
So 2017, you had South Haven and Christian Community play, and all Robertson County Championship. But they both. So they're 20 minutes away. They had to drive all the way down to the Webb School in Bell Buckle. But that was the last time you had a championship game on a neutral site between two teams.
As Rebelski takes a shot, he overthrows Michael Whitten.
Pass is incomplete.
And I say neutral site. Technically, every year is supposed to be a neutral site.
Number
But
15.
2 years ago, the game was here, and Christian Community played in it. Last year, it was at Easel Harding. Easel Harding played in it. So this is the first year that you have two outside teams coming in playing at a field. Now, I mean, it's not a college stadium or college field or something, but obviously that would have been harder to do with the way this season's been. But a great facility here at CCS and doing a great job hosting these games so far.
And they really have pulled out all the stops as timeout by Classical with 58 seconds to go in the first
Taken by Classical.
quarter, the first half. And you can't really take them with them, can you? That timeout by Classical was, I'm pretty sure, their second timeout of the first half. As there's flags at the snap, a false, it looks like they're going to call a false start. So back them up even more to inside their own 5-yard line.
False start on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Works out for
Still
Classical
remaining.
because that'll stop the clock as
Third
well.
down.
As a huge, as is Franklin Christian's calling a timeout.
That's Franklin Classical.
Not Classical, my bad.
You'll get
Riverside
Christian later there, Zach.
Yeah, my bad. As we are going to go to another break. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com and Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. as we are back with 57 seconds to go in the first half. Rebelski hands it off to Crutcher, and Crutcher has a lane, but no, it is stuffed as it's fumbled. As it's fumbled at the line of scrimmage, it was just taken away there.
Classical got the ball.
As let's see if we can see what happened as Clay Lott with. Let's see if we can get the replay
The
here.
result of the play, it will be a classical first down.
As we are. As stopped by Lott, and then he just takes it away while Ezel's fighting for extra yards. How about that?
He said, hey, I'll take that, sir. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
As Hubbard's pass is tipped up, and Whitworth
Pass is
again
incomplete.
with the
Target number 21,
coverage.
Clay Lott.
As
That'll
Lott,
bring up
as
the classical second down.
Lott wasn't able to come down after the great coverage there from Whitworth. As that was on that strip by Lott came on a big third down.
That was what they needed right here before halftime. Try to get some momentum back, as it's been dead.
Hubbard again with an empty
But
backfield.
they're in prime position right here to really jumpstart this offense.
And Hubbard, can he get to the outside? No, he can't. Huge tackle
Ball was
there
kept
by
and ran
number
by number 10,
15,
Samuel
Michael
Hubbard.
Whitten.
He tried to stiff arm on
Brought
Whitten,
down
and it
number
didn't work.
15.
He's trying to get his team
Michael
lined up real
Whitten.
quick.
As there's 30
That'll bring up
seconds
a
go in the
classical third down.
first half. Brings up a 3rd and 8. And the snap. And it's fired. And it's intercepted by Whitworth.
Pass is intercepted.
As there's 16 seconds to go in the first half, Whitworth comes away with maybe
By
a
number 9,
potential game-changing
Marcus
play.
Whitworth.
Well, and
The result of the play,
quick
it will
little-
be a Riverside
quick
first
little lineup.
down.
Who was that? Cornette not happy with the situation. They tried to quick line up and get a play in real quick, get a play called.
As it looked like,
It was intended for who's intended for?
was it Clay Lott again?
It may have been.
As
They're just going to take a knee and go to halftime.
as time's winding down in the first half. Just waiting to make it a formality. And there it is, your
And there
score
it is.
at the end of the first
play with
half.
our score.
Visiting
The
the
Riverside
designated
Knights,
home
22,
team,
Franklin
Riverside
Classical
Christian
Knights,
Academy
0.
Knights 22, and visiting Franklin Classical School Knights 0. We'll be right back with your halftime report. Welcome back to May Flanders Field. My bad. I'm
There he
Zachary
goes.
Lone, and we have James Shannon as our color commentator
What's
today.
up?
We have new mic flags
Look at this.
as well. Really nice too. But if you're classical here and you're Coach Austin, what are you telling your team to try and get your momentum going in the second half?
I'm having someone run up here to Walmart or Ace Hardware, get some Stickum or something. Just that way be able to hang on to the football. That's something they have not been able to do. Man, it's been hurting. Like I said, Riverside has not dominated this game. It's just they've been able to capitalize off the mistakes.
As a classical gets the ball to start the second half. And if you're Riverside, what are you telling your guys to keep them motivated to not allow a second half comeback?
Man, you just got to keep doing the basics. They haven't made a whole lot of mistakes. Riverside hasn't. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be just fine.
As that's going to be it for our Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report. As James is showing off the new mic flags.
No matter
again.
which way you turn, you see the logo.
Kingdom.com Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com, and Jets Pizza of Springfield, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. And we're going to get the clock up and going, and we'll be right back.
2 fouls on the play. The first foul, it's a personal foul, blindside block on the return team. That penalty will be declined. The second foul, it's personal foul, blindside block on the return team. There's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
The outstretched arms of Clay Lott as
That'll
Hubbard
bring up a classical, fourth down.
couldn't find Lott there. And Jones really right there for Classical really made that play possible because of that block.
Well, the young man laying out for the catch, too, just about snagged it.
And it looks like they're going to punt it away. And Whitworth with the return to the 40, gets to the outside, makes one man miss, and he is tackled as his
Ball's returned by number 9.
turtle shell almost
Marcus
comes
Whitworth.
flying off, as that was Joshua
That will bring up
Salstrand
a Riverside first
for
down.
Classical, bringing down Whitworth. And Riverside takes over at Classical's 31-yard line.
And right here, they can pretty much put the game away.
As Rebelski leads Riverside back onto the field. Rebelski runs to his left, and Hubbard forces him out of bounds after a
Ball's getting
gain
ran
of
by number
about
2. Jake Rebelski.
5
Chased out of
yards.
bounds by number 10, Samuel Hubbard. That'll bring up a Riverside.
Correction, 3 yards.
Second
But
down.
as Rebelski tried to turn the corner, just wasn't able to there.
Well, and if you're Classical, that's exactly what you want. You want that clock stopped at 10:09.
Definitely. You want to force them out to the boundaries and see how many times you can force them out. As Rebelski comes back with the empty backfield. And he fires it, and
Oh, tipped out of the hands of Hunt.
As Hunt there read that
Pass is
play to
incomplete to
perfection.
number 7, Raymond Hunt.
And now here it comes.
That'll
A
bring up a
third
Riverside.
third
Third
and
down.
6, 3rd and 7. What are you, if you're Classical, what are you doing here to try and limit Crutcher Ezel?
It depends on. I mean, if he's running the ball, then it depends on what formation they come out here in. You just got to. I see he's going to tight end. They're doing what they need to do. Hubbard on Ezel 1-on-1.
And Hunt up the middle, and he is met by 2 Classical defenders as
Ball is number
Salstrand
7, Raymond Hunt.
and Clay Lott was there.
Tackles made.
Brings up a
By
4th
Holston,
and
Classical Knights, leading tackles number
7.
21, Clay
Those
Lott.
leaders for
That'll
Classical
bring
stepping up.
A Riverside, 4th down.
You're almost in field goal range. Do you think about kicking this here?
You are not almost in field goal range.
He was in it from this from the 35 in warm-ups.
I guess you could
The only thing about that was
Technically.
he would get it from they'd get the ball at the 35, 36 yard line.
if
So
you missed, yeah. But at this point, what would it hurt to take a shot?
as Rebelski looks deep and he has Ezel. Oh, what a
Pass is
breakup by
incomplete.
Elijah
Intended
Jones.
target was number 8.
As
Crutcher
Ezel
Ezel.
almost came down with it, but a big
The
turnover
result
on
of the play, it'll be a
downs
turnover
as
on
Classical
downs.
takes over at
It will be a
Riverside's
classic
29-yard line.
Well, Riverside said, hey, guess what?
First down.
If it's 4th down, we're just going to go ahead and take a shot. Because worst case, yeah, they give him the ball on the 30.
As huge play by Elijah Jones, really keeping Classical in this game. As Hubbard comes back on the field with Cornette right behind him. Tosses out to Cornette, and Cornette is tackled by LaFleur
Ball was pitch number 1.
for a loss of
Eli Cornette
about
brought down
2
by
on the
number 4,
play.
Danny Hall. That'll bring up a Classical 2nd down.
They needed a lot more than that on that play because, you've got to get it going. You're now is at the point where you are legit running out of time to make something happen.
As there's 8:42 to go in the first half, third quarter. As you don't really want to keep relying on your defense to get you stops if you're Classical. As fakes it, and Lott is open. He's got to the 40, and he gets tackled from behind by Ezel. Huge play there for Classical.
Crutcher Ezel, the result of the play. He will be
A lot of speed on that. A lot of speed on that play. He got to the outside, just able to take off, and Crutcher Ezel, of course, maybe one of the only guys who could have grabbed him.
As we're gonna see right here,
Right there. Found the sideline, took off, and Ezel able to close in on him.
great job right there by Ezel, really really coming from behind and making the play. As Hubbard hands off to Cornette. Cornette jukes back inside, and he's got it laned. He's to the 5. LaFleur can't get him. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Classical.
What a play, too. Young man weaving in and out. Looked like he was crocheting. Back and forth, and he absolutely punched the ball in. Little dive on the end.
As we got the end of that play right here, as he took the dive from the 3-yard line.
He was not going to be denied.
And Classical finally gets their first score of the game with 7:41 to go in the third quarter. And now comes the all-important 2-point conversion. And that is knocked down. Hubbard's pass is knocked down by Raymond Hunt, doing it on both sides of the ball. As we are going to head to break, as the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, live, give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza, Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets.
Will Britton back to receive for Riverside. Number 9, Marcus.
7:41 to go in the third quarter here as, Will Britton, the sophomore, on to kick for Classical. And the onside kick is going to go out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Riverside just content to, let's see if they're going to re-kick it. Nope. Riverside content, just get the ball there near the 30-yard line. Get this play started.
As now Classical's defense, Classical's offense finally gets their first score of the game. As we're going to get the call.
On the kicking team. It's a 5-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
As great call there by Mike Walker, by Whitecap Mike Walker today, as he's Whitecap in both the Division IIA championship and the championship. As Ezel lowers his shoulder and gets a gain of about 5. And if you're Classical, you take that as a win.
Absolutely.
Zach Penrod of Classical Knights.
As Penrod brought down Ezel there.
Yeah, it's a good hard runner, and to be able to stop him there, you'll take that any day of the week. And twice on a Sunday.
Oh, definitely. As Classical's defense looks like it's found some momentum. As Ezel's back at quarterback and he runs to the right side, there's going to be a flag. Looks like he's going to come back for a holding, and another huge tackle there from Penrod, as we're going to get the call again in a couple of seconds. So after that good game by Ezel,
holding on the offense, that'll be a 10-yard penalty. Still remaining, second down.
After the big game by Ezel is negated by the holding call, as it brings up a second and 15. As Rebelski's back in quarterback for Riverside, hands it off to Hunt. Hunt gets 4 or 5 yards.
Ball's handed off to number 7.
And it brings up a 3rd and 11.
Big chance for Classical here. Get this turnover and get going on a drive that could potentially give them a chance to get within a score.
As Classical will have to convert both 2-point conversions, as we know that's difficult, as we've seen so far from this year. As at this point, when they played earlier in the year, it was about a 50-point differential. So Classical being in this game shows how much they've really improved.
Absolutely.
And how much it helps having your key guys back. As Ezel is back in as Wildcat, throws it to Hunt, and that ball is bounced. And are they going to call that a fumble? No, they're calling it incomplete.
They were going to say it was a forward pass.
The 10 targets number 7, Raymond Hunt. And to bring up a Riverside.
That was a great call there from.
And they're going to punt this ball away. Zach, I almost called you Spencer.
Yeah, you're good.
My bad.
Again, tonight, 7 o'clock, Division I championship game between South Haven and South Haven and Franklin Christian. Battle between two first-year coaches when Spencer will be play-by-play and I'll be color commentator for tonight's game. As that's almost blocked there by Hubbard. As that ball, as Lott almost hit, that ball almost came back and hit Lott. And we will go to break. Your score, 22-6 with 5:39 to go in the third quarter. Hubbard's back on the field for Classical. As that was Mangrum, as Mangrum comes around on the sweep. And it looks like he has a hole, and he is brought down on the play by Patrick Sims of Riverside. As Mangrum gets out to the 35-yard line for a gain of 6.
Brought down by number 66.
It's a good hard
Patrick
run.
Sims of Riverside.
Good hard run by the young man.
And to bring up a Classical. Second down.
As Classical really has moved the ball really well in this second half. What's been the key so far for Classical to being able to move the ball so far in the second half?
Really, it's been Eli Cornett, the young man having to step up here in his senior year, last game of his senior year, and just get going.
Mangrum again in motion. And Hubbard throws. It is caught by Salstrand, and Salstrand with a gain as he's not down. And no, he did name him down. He was down.
Josh Salstrand.
As it looked like field judge Brent Eubanks came in with the call there.
I believe he was brought down by number 66, Patrick Sims of Riverside.
But a great job by Salstrand there. Hubbard in trouble, able to find his man. Salstrand hauled it in and just kept it from becoming a real bad situation.
But again, great job from the official coming in from the secondary, seeing his knees down and then going ahead and calling him down, as it brings up a huge third down. As Hubbard as there's going to be a timeout. Riverside Christian. And we are going to take a break.
Timeout. Taken by Riverside.
The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. .355 left to go in the third quarter. As pitches outside of Cornett. Can Cornett make Hunt miss? Lowers his shoulder, and it's going to be a gain of about 1 on the play.
66, Patrick Sims.
If they give it to him.
Great tackle there by Hunt. As Cornett really forced Hunt into taking a big hit.
And they're going no huddle here, just quick offense.
Hard count by
He's
Hubbard.
trying to get that 5 yards.
And are they going to waste a timeout here?
No, they're going to run a play.
Lock goes in motion.
They were trying to get that 5 yards.
Snap. Gives it to Cornett. And Cornett breaks it through. Ezell. He makes Ezell miss. One man to beat. LaFleur can't bring him down. Cornett into the end zone. 22-12.
It'll be a classical.
Touchdown, classical.
It's a big run by the young man, and I said the key here in the second half has been Eli Cornett. Young man has made it happen so far here in the third quarter. And now we got with a successful 2-point conversion, we've got a 1-score game.
On 4th and 3, 43 yards in for a touchdown.
Well, it's like I said, Hubbard, he was trying to get the hard count, trying to get the 5 yards. He couldn't, so they went ahead and called a play and just did just a simple give to Cornett. And the speed of that young man, they were not catching him.
After he broke the tackle from Ezel, there really was no one except for LaFleur.
All he had to do was beat LaFleur, and he got him.
And now here comes the all-important 2-point conversion here.
They absolutely have to get this one.
As it looks like Cornett isn't on the field.
No, he's out there.
And the handoff is, nope, fakes a handoff to Elijah Jones. And it's pitch, will lock it in. Yes, he will.
What a move.
22-14, what a move by Clay Lott. 8-point game with 2:56 to go in the third quarter. As we're going to be.
That's a big, big drive right there.
Yes, it is. As they 14 points in the third quarter. And we will be right back. As we are back, 22-14 is your score with 2:56 to go in the third quarter after that last Riverside classical touchdown. And Will Britton onside kick is recovered by Riverside, and the ball is loose. As Michael Whitten fumbled the ball, and it looks like Whitten did come fall back down on it. It's going to be first down at Classical's 39-yard line.
Yeah, able to fall right back down on top of it.
Knights, first down.
Little kick from Britton to Whitten.
Almost a big mistake there by Whitten.
Well, right here. Right here, you get a stop and give the ball back and just give it to Cornett. Or he's over here on the sideline resting up for that offensive drive. He might come in at some point, but I got a feeling they're going to let him rest up just a hair.
As here comes a huge set of downs here for Riverside as Ezel makes the first man miss, and huge tackle there by Joshua Salstrand after a gain of about 2. Right now, all of the momentum is going Classical's way.
There was a whole lot of shucking and driving there for 2 yards.
Yeah, definitely. And you have to wonder if they were able to catch any of those first half passes that they were wide open. Salstrand and Cornett.
That's what I'm saying. These guys dropping these passes, that's what killed them. Riverside didn't blow them out of the water, and now the Classical's doing what they need to. Now Riverside isn't able to get going.
As Rebelski takes the the carry down to the 33-yard line, as it brings up another big third down here for Riverside.
And that was a great job by looks like Elijah Jones there. Whenever Rubelski came in, Jones came in on the backside, and instead of Rubelski being able to stretch the football out, he came in and made the tackle and pushed him back and saved a yard or so. So it's a big 3rd and 2 here. Actually, 3rd and 3, technically.
As Rubelski lines up with Ezel to his left, hunts the man in motion, and Rebelski lowers his shoulder. Will he get the first? The ball comes out. Fumbled by, and it was recovered by Raymond Hunt.
Well, and Rubelski was kind of
Recovered by
trying to
number
pick his
7,
hole.
Raymond Hunt.
He took the snap
Had
and
to
just
bring up
delayed.
Riverside.
And when he
Fourth
picked a
down.
hole, they had a spy sitting right there with him. And as he picked his hole, the spy said, all right, bingo, gotcha. Boom. It was like Top Gun with the radar. As soon as he got there, he locked in, got him.
And great tackle there by Classicals. As here it comes, a big 4th and 3 with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Ezel lines up in the shotgun, and he breaks 2 tackles, and he carries a man down to the 21-yard line. Huge conversion there by Riverside.
Crutcher Ezel showing why he's so good.
It'll be a Riverside.
Able to make men miss.
First down.
As that might be the last play of the third.
Now they'll run one more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now they're going to take this to the quarter break.
I stand corrected.
As we're
I
going to see
stand
this
corrected.
instant replay on the third down as Lott tried to time snap perfectly, but the big gap opened up there.
Zach, we're in for a heck of a
And
fourth
that will end the
quarter.
third quarter
Yes,
play
we
with our
are.
score. The Riverside
And your
Knights
score
22,
with
Franklin
at the
Knights
end of the
14.
third quarter, Riverside 22 and Classical 14. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. As there's a fumble, and
Rubelski able to get it back.
Recovered by number 8, Crutcher Ezel. And to bring
I
up
think that was Ezel
Riverside.
that lined up
second down.
at quarterback position there, and then fell on top of the fumble.
Must have eaten him a big old bowl of Lucky Charms this morning. Bad snap, it hit him, came up, hit his offensive lineman, and then came back.
As Ezel lines back up in the shotgun formation in the Wildcat, as he brings him down after a gain of about 3, brings up a 4, brings up 3rd and 11.
And to bring up a Riverside.
3rd and 10, my correction.
Third down.
And now this is where, if you're Riverside,
I say you took a kill shot right here.
as it's 3rd down and 10. We apologize for the scoreboard again. As Ezel is back in the shot, back in the Wildcat. Direct snap, ball's low, and he's gonna fire, and he is just short of Rebelski, who had a step on his defender.
Intended target number 2, Jake Rebelski. Now to bring up a Riverside.
As
Fourth
here
down.
come the 4th and 10. Do they kick the field goal here? Huge 4th down for both teams as Riverside, as Classical is trying to keep the momentum, and Riverside is trying to stop it. As Rebelski lines up in the backfield with Hunt to his left.
This could be the biggest stop of the game here if Classical can get it.
And the snap, throws it up, and what a catch!
Passes complete
Michael
to number 15.
Michael Whitten with a
Michael
great
Whitten, the
catch.
result of
Tell me you got the replay.
It'll be a Riverside
We should get the ending of it.
touchdown.
Let's see. Yes, we're going to get the play. As Rebelski just throws it up, and Whitten high points the ball. And
Oh, he
comes
mossed
down
him,
with it. He
man.
mossed him. 28-14.
And on 4th down, that might have been the kill shot.
What this does, if Classical stops them here on the 2-point conversion, it makes it to where they only have to get one of their next 2 conversions. So still a huge play. And Rebelski runs it, and he falls on, and he
The 2-point
falls
conversion
into
is
the end
good.
zone. 30-14 your score, with 10:17 to go in the game. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, live, give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets.
Back to receive for the Classical Knights,
And
number 1,
LaFleur
Eli Cornett.
back in for Riverside to kick it away, and Cornett's back to receive as Cornett returned the last one for a touchdown, remember, but was called back due to penalty. And Cornett makes the first man miss, and he can't
Falls return number
escape
1,
Michael
Eli Cornett.
Whitten. Whitten
And to bring up
is
a
having
Classical
himself a
first down.
great 4th quarter so far. As Classical offense trots back onto the field, down by 16. If you're Classical here, what are you trying to do? What are you doing to get yourself some momentum early? As Jed Mangrum is in at quarterback for, as Cornett gets the handoff. He can't get anything going
Falls at number
as there's a
1, Eli
tackle of
Cornett.
4 yards. As Mangrum was in at quarterback there for Classical.
And really, that last drive where
Brought down by
it
number
could have
85,
been
Levi
Riverside
Ogle
put
of
the game
Riverside.
away with that drive.
And
That
bring
last
up
drive,
a
the heart and
Classical.
soul of it
Second
was the
down.
quarterback, Rebelski. His senior year, last game of his career. Just absolutely willed his team to that touchdown, made the great throw.
Another huge, and as a couple of huge 4th down conversions there from Riverside.
Exactly.
As Mangrum's back in the, tosses out to Cornett. As Hall makes the tackle.
Number 1,
Cornett
Eli
can't make
brought down by
Wall,
number 4, Danny Hall.
can't make Hall miss.
And to bring up a Classical 3rd down.
As here comes a huge 3rd down here for both teams. And you got to think, James, this is 4 down territory.
Oh, absolutely. You have to, really got to take your shot. And if you're Classical, it's bigger than just this game right here. I think you're keeping in mind that a lot of these guys play basketball, and you're trying to just make sure these guys get out of this game healthy.
As a couple of their big basketball players did end up sitting out today, but they are still a couple on the field. Man in motion as Mangrum throws it across field, and it's low
Pass
to
is incomplete. Return
to
number 85,
Ethan Keller.
And to bring up a
And
Classical 4th down.
8:33 to go in the 4th quarter. What is Classical going to do here?
Oh, they're going to take a shot, 100%.
As you got to wonder if Samuel Hubbard is injured, as Hubbard standing on the sideline with his helmet off. Usually isn't a great sign.
Yeah. Not 100% sure, to be honest.
As Ethan Keller's
They're going to
back.
punt it.
And the punt's away, and it's a good one. Bounces at the 39, and it looks like it's going to be down at about the 31-yard line.
Great kick there.
And
let's see. Was that 85?
it was 81. That was Zach Penrod.
Great punt.
As we are going to go to break, and your score with 8:21 left to go in the game is Riverside 30 and Franklin Classical 14.
Back.
As that was a short break. As that's going to be a snap
Penalty
infraction
markers on the
probably.
field. False start on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still remaining. First down.
As it looks like the center moved just a little before snapping the ball there. As the center is Timothy Whidden. Hand off to Crutcher, and Crutcher falls forward
Ball's
after
out
getting
on
hit in the
number 8.
backfield
Crutcher, he's down.
for a gain of about
That'll bring up a Riverside.
it was he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Second down.
As the second down. As Classical still has all 3 of their timeouts. And if you're Classical, when do you start using them?
I think you wait to see if you get a 4th down on this drive.
Rebelski's back in the pocket, and he fires it deep, and it's going to be.
Pass is incomplete.
As
3 Classical players there. They
Intended
all
target
touched
was
the
number
ball
7, Raymond
and
Hunt.
no
Penalty
interception.
markers on the field.
As there is going to be a penalty on the play.
I think you're going to get a roughing the passer.
No, it could be holding.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. It will
As
be a
it
Riverside.
did end up
Third
being
down.
a holding there on the center. And we are going to go to break. As there are 2 injured Classical players on the field. As a good sign for both Classical players and Franklin Classical themselves, both players ended up getting up and walking back on the field with their own power. As Rebelski is back at quarterback, and it's going to be a direct snap to Rebelski, and Rebelski is tackled after a gain of 1. Really, with that pass, it brings up a
Number 85, Ethan Keller.
4th down.
That'll
So
bring up a
on that
Riverside.
play,
4th down.
them throwing the pass, that ended up being that might keep Classical in the game here. As it looks like Hall is back to punt for Riverside, and that is a great punt. And Elijah Jones is back, and fair catches the ball at the 21-yard line, and we're going to head to break. The Kingdom.com Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza, Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. As there's 7:03 to go in the game. Mangrum is still in the backfield for Classical as the handoff is to Jones, and Jones is tackled on the loss on the play there for a loss of 2, and it was tackled by Timothy Whitten and Michael Whitten.
That'll bring up a Classical 2nd down.
As clock is as Hubbard.
I don't know that Classical will burn any timeouts.
It looks like they're just gonna run this one out, as they have both Hubbard and Cornett on the sideline with their helmets off. Mangrum rolls out to his right, and it is incomplete. They're intended for, is that Elijah Jones? It is. It was intended for, no, it was Joshua Southstrand. As Southstrand ended up getting up a little slow there. As a big 3rd down here for Classical. There's 6:16 to go in the 4th quarter. What are you calling here, James?
You got to take a shot in this situation. You're going deep. I would honestly try to go deep to Sahlstrom. Now they could run it here, but I would try to go deep to Sahlstrom here. I know Whitworth's done a great job.
As Mangrum has the pressure, and it is intercepted by Ezel. Ezel tight ropes the sideline and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Riverside.
Riverside, touchdown.
Coach Ezel just sat and waited and watched. He's back up. Just got shook up.
As that was Timothy Whitten there for Riverside. And that makes the score 36-14.
It may have been Mangrum that went down too for Classical. He may have been down as well. Matter of fact, he's laying down here on the sidelines. And they're gonna let Hall kick it.
Rebelski in to hold for Hall. And it's blocked. And they can't return. And you can't return a extra point in high school.
Well, and that just took way too much time for Hall to get to the holder. He should have started his motion as the snap was coming back. You can't let the hold go and then try to kick it. So there you go.
As we are going to take a break with 6:07 to go in the 4th quarter. Riverside 36, Classical 14.
kickoff for Riverside, number 4.
As Hall
Danny
is into the game to
Back to receive
kick
from the
for
Classical Knights, number
Riverside.
81, Zach Penrod.
And Penrod,
That'll
He's
be a
in the end
touchback.
zone.
yeah, caught it in the end zone. And that in high school, that is a touchback. As it looks like they are just going to, as Mango's back on the back into the game for Franklin Classical, and Cornette's back in the game. Looks like they may be giving Cornette one last drive in a senior season.
And good for them.
It's Clay Lott is the quarterback here. Mangrum. It's fake to fake and open.
Pass is complete.
Is Ethan Keller, and he is tackled. They're rolling it a fumble.
It was a fumble.
Ball was fumbled.
Can we hit a replay?
By number 85,
Yes,
Ethan
let's-
Keller. Recovered by number 8, Crutcher Zell.
Let's see if we can. As he is tackled and he looks like he was down.
That would have been interesting to look at through
That'll be a
replay. But to be
Riverside
fair,
first down.
there's 2 officials right there on the play. Those back 2 officials. So they did get and they would have had a better look, honestly. They're at field level than us.
Yes, definitely. As Rebelski is still in a quarterback for Riverside. Hands it off, and Hunt is swallowed up in the backfield for a
Ball's out
loss
number
of
7,
5 on the
Raymond
play.
Hunt.
6 on the play.
Met by number 85, Ethan Keller.
As Keller
And I bring up a Riverside. Second down.
made the tackle. And Riverside's going to be content to basically run this clock all the way down to probably around the 2-3 minute mark.
What the quarterbacks do, and you see Rebelski back there. The back judge over here on the right is the timekeeper. He's gonna Rebelski's watching him to watch the clock, the play clock, because they don't actually have a play clock visible here at May
As
Flanders Field.
the referee is just out of your reach, and he moves his arm like a ticking clock. And Rebelski fakes the handoff, runs to the sideline,
Ball
and
was
then
stepping
runs
right
out
number
of
2.
bounds.
Jake Rebelski.
You don't like that.
Chase out of bounds.
But he
number-
did
by
have to
number
make a
3,
business
Elijah
decision.
Jones.
He had to make the business decision to not take the shot.
And I bring up a Riverside.
Yeah.
Third down.
As both teams have scored 14 points in this second half, as the first half was really killer for Franklin Classical, just mental mistakes.
Yeah, not being able to snag the ball.
As the passes were perfect, like they were right in the receiver's hands, they just weren't able to come down with it. And Rebelski with the snap, fakes it, rolls out to his right side, and he is tackled
Ball is
in
by
the
number 2.
backfield by Salstrom.
Jake Rebelski.
As a timeout is coming in from the Classical sideline.
Brought down by number 2, Josh Salstrom.
As 4 minutes and 30 seconds are left to go
And
in the
bring up a
game.
Riverside. Fourth down.
As they're going to reset the game clock to 4:38. And during this timeout, we are going to thank our sponsors. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. as 4:38 to go in this game. Riverside brings out their punting unit as Hall is back to punt for Classical, and it looks like
Coach Rizel's the long snapper.
and the punt's up and away and out of bounds at about the 39-yard line of Riverside. And during the change of possession, we are going to take a timeout. Your score, Riverside 36, Franklin Classical 14. Lott still in the game for Classical at quarterback. Steps back, rolls to his right, splits two defenders, and he is tackled after a gain of about 4 on the play. And it looks like they're going to get to the line quick.
Brought down by number 11, Isaac Newman. And to bring up a Classical, second down.
4 minutes and 7 seconds to go. As Lott trots back onto the field. As Cornette's coming out wide. There's going to be a timeout Classical as there was some confusion on the play.
Timeout. Taken by Classical.
Are you tuning up maybe a trick play to try and get Cornette one more touchdown before season's over? Because it looked like a play they didn't really run much because there was a lot of miscommunication.
A lot of confusion on the play.
As it looks like Zach Ray for Classical is explaining what he wants on the play. Thank you to our 13 viewers for sticking with us through all of our technical difficulties today. Lott passes out the middle. This is Penrod. Will he get caught? He will not. Touchdown. Touchdown Classical, but there is a flag. As right now they are talking over as we didn't get a replay on that. As here comes the call from Mike Walker.
An eligible receiver downfield. On the offense, covered up player went downfield. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay the down.
An eligible receiver on the offense.
So it looked like right there they got Penrod, Keller, as being covered up, and then because when you're covered and you're off the center or off the right guard, you are then considered ineligible if a player lines up right over the top of you. As there is 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. 2nd and 11. Lott Pressures comes, rolls to his right, and he can't break out of
Ball
the
was kept by
pressure
number 21.
as there's 4
21.
Riverside
Brought down
players
by the
there.
host, the Riverside Knights.
And it looked like
Now to bring up a classical 3rd down.
Patrick Sims was the first player there for Riverside.
And then it looks like Whidden and
Michael Witten and
Lindley.
Timothy Witten.
Yeah, they all got in on it.
As it goes from touchdown to 3rd and 16, 3rd and 15. Clay Lott still in the backfield. Lott scrambles to his right, throws it to the outside, and it is caught by Southstrand at the 31-yard line, as that's going to stop the clock with 2:18 to go in the game, and that's going to bring up a 4th and about 2. But great job there of getting some yards and making this manageable.
And a great job by Lott on the play, too. You saw his lineman kind of peel, the defensive players coming to the outside. He's able to step up in the pocket and make that throw. That's exactly what he needed.
Slot has the play. Collins coming back in. 36-14 is your score, with time winding down. Really, the first half killed Classical today.
Absolutely.
Going down 22-0 at halftime if you're just joining us. Mangrum in motion, and the toss is behind Mangrum, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for Classical.
And you should just see some kneel downs from Riverside here. You get a shot. You can see South Haven Christian arriving.
Again, Spencer and I will be on the call tonight. I will resume my normal duties of color commentator.
There's Manny Dang.
It's gonna be big for them tonight to make sure they don't get Manny too run down.
Game management is something that didn't happen, or time management.
So Raymond Hunt gets the carry and makes one man miss, and then forced out of bounds. Now they're keeping the clock running, so they're calling for progress.
Yeah, you gotta keep the clock running in this situation.
Southstrand and Menard. We haven't really called Miles Menard's names a lot tonight.
No.
Menard was really one of the key players for Classical in the first game between these two. And as there's 1 minute, a minute and a half left to go, Rebelski is staying in at quarterback. Two more plays as it hands off to Crutcher. Ezel makes one. Can't get out of the grip of Clay Lott. Clay Lott's really had a great game tonight. As time's ticking down, 1 minute to go in the game.
They'll run one more play, and that'll wrap this up.
As 40 more seconds to go. Late substitution here by Classical, and Classical and Rebelski takes the snap, takes the knee, and that's going to be it. Your 2020 Division II TSIAA state champions.
No, we got a timeout.
Never mind. Timeout Classical.
Taken by Classical.
A little bit too soon there.
I jumped the gun there. There's Zach. They got 20 seconds. They can put up 3 touchdowns in 20 seconds. Absolutely make it happen.
If they scored 3 touchdowns in 20 seconds, then Mike, I'm just going to
stop.
Obviously,
Obviously, you've never seen that state championship game in Texas. from like 30 years ago.
No, I remember that game. Yeah, I remember that game.
On like the kickoff, and then like they came back. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You've obviously never seen. Okay.
I have seen it, but there was a little bit more than 20 seconds to go. If they come back and score 20 points, I'm gonna end my broadcasting career.
Please don't.
I couldn't see anything. I wouldn't be able to see anything better than that. As that was Dylan Chestnut on the back for Classical, and it looks like that was Whitworth with
Might have been Lindley as well.
Lindley. It was Lindley. As both of these teams really don't have some key seniors, but really.
Well, for Classical, you're going to have Hubbard, you're going to have Lott, Salstrom, Cornett.
That's right. So basically,
For Riverside, it's Crutcherizell, Rubelski.
And in for the final play probably is Hubbard. Hubbard's back in the pocket, looks, fires it long as Clay Lott is intercepted by Raymond Hunt. 1-0, and that's going to be your game. Your 2020 TSIAA State Division II state champions is going to be Riverside Christian Academy Knights, beating Franklin Classical 36-14. Stay put for the prize ceremony.
Check, check. Check, check. Not
I know, right? Hey, we're room, yeah, we're room 316 over here, so as soon as you get your stuff, come on. Yeah, I said the hangar, they're out of Friday.
hardware back home to Fayetteville. Try it again, Zach. It's not on the speakers. Check. Riverside Christian, how does it feel, Riverside, to take home some Bill? I'm joined on the field by the Assistant Executive Director of the Tennessee State Independent Athletic Association in Jordan Flanders, and we've got some hardware to present for Division II. We start with the Division II stars of the game. From Franklin Classical, Clay Lott.
A little short-tempered with the
From Riverside Christian, Marcus Whitworth. And your MVP for the Division II championship, the senior quarterback, Crutcher Rizal. Congratulations to the runner-up for the Division II championship, the Franklin Knights. And now your Division II champions for the Tennessee State Independent Athletic Association, Riverside Christian Academy Knights.
In about 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and do that in 10 minutes.